Me neither.
Actually,
We can talk about that.
Are we on? Are we on? Are we on?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. My name is Anne-Marie, host of the Studio Classroom Daily program, and I have a special guest with me here today. This is Dave Morton. He is the senior editor for SC Magazine. Welcome to our live stream.
It is wonderful to be here, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show.
Of course. I am so glad you're here because the article we are going to be discussing today, the topic is superheroes. And as you can see on page 48 of January's magazine, you wrote this article.
I did, and it was a lot of fun to write. I learned a lot.
Okay, so let's begin today by asking a question to you and also to our audience as well. Do you have a favorite superhero? If you have a favorite superhero, please drop it down in the comments.
That's right. We would love to talk about your favorite hero as well as ours. Do you want to know my favorite superhero?
I do.
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Easy, yeah.
He's kind of a darker superhero.
Okay, so he's a darker superhero, but it's mostly because of he's a very human superhero. So why is Batman a hero at all? Why does he fight crime? Well, it's because he had a really scary experience as a child where he actually saw his parents get killed by some people who were stealing things from them. And that is what motivated him to become this hero. But Batman also has this struggle in his heart. He wants to fight crime and make his city, Gotham, a safer place. But he never wants to kill anyone. He never wants to kill people. So he always just tries to catch people and put them in jail. But then they oftentimes break out of jail and then try to come and find him again. And so he's in a very difficult position because he's always trying to fight crime, keep the city safe, but he also never wants to actually take a life.
So I'm hearing that you like Batman because of his backstory.
Yes.
So what happened to him before he became a superhero? Because of his humanity.
Yes.
And also because of his inner struggle.
Yeah, he has an inner struggle, but a very strong sense of his own morality, his own principles.
Well, I have to say that I don't really have a favorite superhero, but I very distinctly and vividly remember watching Batman and Spider-Man with my younger brother when I was growing up. I have a brother who's 1 year younger than me, and while superheroes weren't really my thing, he liked them quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say that for a lot of people, it's either Batman or Spider-Man.
One or the other.
Yeah, those are the two, at least in my generation, I think, the two most popular. Although I also really like X-Men.
Oh, I did watch those as well. I guess they could be considered superheroes too.
Yeah, we usually don't think about them as being part of the superhero group, but they are. And the X-Men were also a really, it was originally made to be kind of like something that talked about the social issues of the time. And the story came actually out of some conflicts with racism in the US.
Oh, because the X-Men are so different than everybody else around them.
That's right.
Very interesting. I think maybe the reason I don't think of X-Men as necessarily superheroes right away is I associate superheroes with superhero movies.
Right.
And these days, there's so many Marvel superhero movies in the cinema all the time.
All the time, yeah. And I frankly think it's a little bit, I get a little bit tired of it all the time.
So you don't like the superhero movies?
Okay, I like some superhero movies. I would say that I really like I guess they call it the phase 1, or maybe it's phase 2. Basically, the movies leading up to the end game, the Infinity War with Thanos and the Glove and Iron Man. Those movies had a really interesting story. I got actually kind of connected to the characters in that phase of the movies. And after that part of the story ended, I sort of lost interest. They kept making movies, making more. The last one I saw was the Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. I remember after I watched it, I thought, Special effects were pretty cool. What was the story? I don't remember.
You can't remember the story at
I don't remember it all. It just was not that interesting.
I think that's how I think about superhero movies as well, is that there are just so many of them. I watched the first few that came out, like, I think I saw Thor when that movie came out back in the early 2010s, I think.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, and I enjoyed it, but it just seems like there are so many movies being made these days, it's hard to keep up. But what about you, friends? Do you like to watch superhero movies? Let us know in the comments if this is something that you enjoy. But I will say, like them or not, superhero movies are always going to be put into theaters because superheroes are such a cultural icon.
That's right. Cultural icon is a really great phrase. A cultural icon is a person or an artifact or something that is identified by members of a culture and kind of represents that culture. So one cultural icon I can think of from American history is someone like Martin Luther King Jr. or Abraham Lincoln.
Those are some historical figures that would represent the culture of that time.
Yes.
And we can say this about things in pop culture as well. I think a lot of people would say that Taylor Swift is a cultural icon these days.
Yeah, you also kind of look a little bit...
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. But she is certainly a cultural icon. She represents pop music of probably the last 10 years. And she actually is incredibly talented.
She is. Now there's something else that I want to talk about that you specifically mentioned in the article, and that was this idea that people love superheroes because they save the day and they offer a ray of hope. So let's talk about that phrase. What does it mean to save the day?
So to save the day is if we want to go out for lunch and then I say, can you save the day?
Oh, you want me to pay?
No, if you save the day, it means that there's something horrible happening. The monster is coming, the bad guy is going to ruin everything, but a hero rises up, and the day of destruction becomes a day that was saved, a day of redemption. We often hear this word when we think about superheroes or read about them. Redemption is a situation where something that was going to be doomed or destroyed instead becomes saved. And this is something that comes up all the time when Christians are talking about Christmas or Easter. It's because Jesus is the one who saved the day for us and brought redemption to a world that was doomed. And I think that same desire to be saved that we all kind of have in our hearts is the same reason why we love superheroes.
That's such a good point. And as you heard me say earlier, friends, we do sometimes use this phrase in a lighter way as well. Someone could save your day at school by giving you a pencil when you forgot one, or bringing you a cup of coffee when you're really, really tired at work. You saved the day. But let's also talk about that other phrase in that sentence, to offer a ray of hope.
Yes. A ray of hope. A ray is sort of an abstract thing. It's like you can have rays of the sun, which are just like the light that's coming from the sun. You can think of it this way. You're in a dark cave. You don't know where the exit is. Suddenly, there's a little line of light that you see coming from some direction. It's a ray of light that tells you, oh, if I go that way, then I can get out of this dark cave.
It's like a way out or an escape, if you will. Okay, so this is why people like superheroes, right? Because they save the day and they offer a ray of hope. All right, now there are a lot of different kinds of superheroes, right? And they all have different abilities or superpowers. So let's have a fun little discussion time here. If you could have any kind of superpower, what kind of superpower would you have? Answer down in the comments below, friends. What kind of superpower do you wish that you had?
Oh, what about you? What superpower do you wish you had?
I think if I had the ability to travel anywhere in the blink of a second, that means just immediately get there, that's what I would want. Because I could go anywhere in the world and I wouldn't have to spend tons of hours on an airplane.
Yeah, actually, I've asked my wife this question before.
Oh.
She has the same answer.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, in fact, I've asked lots of people this question, and the most common answers I've gotten are either flight or transportation. Yeah.
Is that your answer too?
No, actually, my answer, I wish that I had, like, so in X-Men, there's the character Wolverine, you know, whooshing, the guy with the claws, and he has this ability to, his body just heals automatically.
Oh, yeah, because the spikes come out of his hand and then the holes heal up later.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yes, good. But I would actually, I sort of wish I had the ability to heal other people. You know, if like someone is sick or maybe they even had some pain in their heart or in their mind, some kind of trauma that they're trying to get over, I think it would be so cool to have the ability to give healing to other people, physical or emotional.
That is so self-sacrificing.
Yeah, but it would also be really exhausting, and then people would be coming from all over because they'd be like, oh, this guy can do this magic thing. And,
well, that's the definition of self-sacrifice, right?
So.
It's doing something for someone else even when it's not the best thing for you.
Yeah, well, there you go. So if I ever magically get this ability at some point, we'll let you guys know on the live stream, and you can come on down to Dazhi.
Come see David.
Come see.
All right, so we have a comment down here. Helen, thank you so much. She says that she wishes that she could do time travel. That would be a great one too. Although I think for me, it could get kind of dangerous because I would want to go and redo certain things or decisions in my life. And I think it would just, you've seen the movies, it would just create a huge mess.
Every time. I think time travel would be fun, but I also think it is the most horrifying possibility because if I could time travel, I think, you know, if some people think that they would go back and change things in history and make the world a better place, I think I would just go back and like constantly try to fix the mistakes that I made in the past. You know, and then that would just ruin my life.
Yeah.
But Helen, I'm sure that you would be very, very practical and very wise with your use of time travel.
And self-sacrificing as well.
That's
All right. Well, there is actually a phrase in English that we want to talk about that anytime I think of superheroes, I always think of this phrase in English. And it's the phrase, not all heroes wear capes. So this has the idea that there are everyday people who do good deeds and help others out as well.
That's right. I think this is something I saw in America a lot. Because in America people love superheroes, there are lots of TV shows and even stuff you hear on radio programs where they just talk about everyday heroes. And it'll be simple things like paying for the coffee for the person behind you in line, or helping the old lady cross the street, or buying a sandwich for the homeless guy. You know, just those little things that are just everyday things, simple things, but they can really make someone's day.
This is a great phrase for our friend down here that just left a comment who said, I wish I can know who needs my help and when they need my help. So it's a good phrase for you to know. Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. If you had that ability and teleportation, right, then it'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Who needs help? And you're right there.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
There's something else I want to talk about when it comes to superheroes, and we've talked about it a little bit already, and it's the idea of the oversaturation of superhero movies at the cinema. The idea that there is just movie after movie after movie, and they just never stop. There always seems to be a new one, and that's kind of because of this idea of the franchise that never stops.
Yeah, and then once the company Disney bought those different superhero companies, they bought Marvel, right, and they bought Star Wars. So then they're just like, oh great, let's just keep on churning things out because they make money. While things can only make money for so long. When something is really popular, it's because maybe it's new. But once you are on maybe year 10 of churning out movies, people are going to get a little bit tired of it.
Yeah, and they kind of have. It seems like the last Marvel movie that came out was, we call it a flop. Now, I don't think it totally flopped because it seems like it still made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It just hasn't made as much money as some of the other ones. Some of these other movies have brought in billions of dollars in revenue.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Selena, just so you know, no, I would not charge a fee. It would be free. You would not have to gua hao and then stand in line free of charge. But yeah, you're right. Even the way that they measure how much money something makes in order to be a success or a flop, to us normal people, oh, okay, hold on, like $26 million is a lot of money. But if they spent, $50 million or more to make the movie and they only made $26 million back, then okay, I can understand that. Or if they just expect it to be much more.
Well, let us know, friends. Do you think that there are too many superhero movies, or are you happy with several superhero movies coming out every year? This is about the end of our live stream, friends. If you have any questions, go ahead and take a minute and drop them down in the comments. We'll try to take a minute to answer them before we stop here. And we do just want to remind you as well, we have another live stream coming up. It is going to be on January 25th.
That's right.
That is also a Thursday at 1 p.m. If there's another time or day that works better for you guys, you can definitely let us know. Otherwise, you can watch the live stream later. We'll keep it up on this YouTube channel.
That's right. Save the date. Make sure you're there. And I don't know, you can write into our Instagram if you have any other thoughts about superheroes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or drop them down in the comments and we will try to answer them later. Thank you so much for joining us today, friends. And thank you for joining us as well, David. It has been a pleasure. And we will see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.